If you've been watching my videos, you probably know which software is my favorite manual Forex backtesting software. But I want to find out, is there a better solution out there? I've been using the same software for years, and I haven't really paid attention to what's out there. So I wanted to find out, is there a new software that's better, or is there an existing solution that has improved significantly? So in this video, I'll round up all of the manual Forex backtesting software solutions available. I'll test a strategy that I've never tested before. I'll show you the results of the testing, and I'll show you my pick for the best software available right now. All right, here are the ground rules for this test. I have my notes here just in case you're wondering what I'm looking at, just so I don't miss anything. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a trading strategy that I found on the internet. What I want to do here is I want to simulate what the typical aspiring trader will have to go through when they're testing a strategy. So I'm going to find something on the internet. I'm going to give you the complete rules, the complete trading plan of how I'm going to test this. Then I'll test that trading plan on each software individually. When I'm done with the testing, I'll show you my complete results from each of the software products and how easy it is to get that information. From there are 5 categories that I'm going to rank each of these software products in. I'm going to rank all of them from top to bottom, so you can see which one was the best and which one was the worst in each category. All right, now how did I choose the software products? Well, there were some criteria. I wanted to choose products that would be accessible to most people in the world, most beginning traders, and wouldn't cost an arm and a leg. So here was the criteria. First, it had to cost less than $200 in total, or $200 a year if it was a subscription product. Next, I'm looking at manual backtesting software only. Third, it has to be Forex specific. So can I backtest Forex currency pairs with this software? So those are the 3 criteria that I used to pick the software. Now let's take a look at the contenders. All right, here are the software products that I'm going to be testing. First one is Forex Tester. It's a paid one-time fee. MetaTrader is free. With TradingView, I'm going to be testing both the paid and free plans. There's going to be ThinkTrader, Soft Forex, NinjaTrader, and Excel. And you're probably wondering why I threw Excel in there, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Now keep in mind that I'm not going to be able to show all the details of all the software in this video because it would make it way too long. But keep an eye out for individual videos where I test all of these software in detail and I give you the nitty-gritty of how they work. But for this test, I'm going to show you some clips of the software in action. Then I'm going to give you the highlights as they apply to the 5 categories and the ranking. All right, so here are the categories: ease of use, value for money, data availability, usability for manual backtesting, and best overall software. A software could be easy to use, but it might not be easy to use for backtesting. That's why I have the differentiation there. All right, now before we get into the trading strategy, let's take a look at how I found this strategy. All right, so I simply went to Google and I Googled moving average crossover Forex. And I want to see what comes up. So as you can see, we have this article here, and then we go down to this one. And I don't see the one that I actually found the first time. So let me see if I can find that. That was on DailyFX. I guess it's no longer ranking number 1. Okay, so this is the one that was coming up number 1 before, and this is the one that I used. So it's trend trading rules with moving average crosses. So from that blog post, it's a moving average crossover strategy. It's using the 250 simple moving averages. When the 50 crosses over the 200, you enter immediately on the next candle. Your stop loss goes on the other side of the crossover point, on the other side of the 200, and then you take these trades on the daily chart. Now, what this article is missing were a few key elements. So this is a good point here to talk about. Not everything that you read on the internet or you find on YouTube or whatever is a trading strategy, right? It's usually just a trading idea, it's a trading concept, but it's not a full-blown trading strategy, because for a trading strategy, you need to know where to exit, you need to know the risk, and you need to see some testing around this idea. But this is just a trading idea. So what it left out was the take profit, trade management, and the risk. So I'm going to put that in myself. In this case, I'm going to do a take profit when the price closes on the other side of the 50, because this is supposed to be a trend following strategy. So I'm assuming that that's the best way to do it. And then it's going to be set and forget. So there's no moving to break even, no adjusting stuff. Once you enter it, that's it. It's done. And then finally, 1% risk. That's just an easy place to start. And then I'm going to be testing this on the Euro US dollar daily chart only. All right, before I get started, just keep an eye out throughout this video because I'm going to be giving you some tips on how you can speed up your backtesting process and get more out of your backtesting. All right, so first up is NinjaTrader. And this is NinjaTrader 8. And keep an eye out in the upper right corner because that's going to show the total elapsed time for each test. And this can help you understand the efficiency of the software. But the total time is not going to be it's not going to be the total picture of how efficient the software is. So stay tuned to the end of the video because that's where I'm going to break down the overall efficiency of each of the software products. All right, here's NinjaTrader 8, and this was the backtest.
Any ideas?
Next up is Soft Forex, and Soft Forex is interesting because it's a plugin to MetaTrader 4. It's an EA, an expert advisor, and you just put that into MT4 and it gives you additional backtesting functionality. So this is going to be a cool comparison using Soft Forex with MetaTrader 4 and comparing that to MetaTrader 5. Now I bought the full version with my own money because that's what I needed for this test. I couldn't use the demo version. The free demo version only allows 5 trades. If you're finding this video useful, a thumbs up on the video is always greatly appreciated. And if you want to get more videos like this to help you improve your Forex trading skills, head on over to my channel, subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get updates. Also consider going over to my website, tradingheroes.com/resources. And that's where I put all the best resources that I find while I'm trading. So that will save you some time. You don't have to test all this stuff out yourself because I'm testing it for you. And if you buy through those links, I do get a small commission, but that supports the channel, that supports the website, and that helps me create more videos like this. And it does take a lot of time and some money to create these videos, so your support is always greatly appreciated. All right, here's the test. All right, up next is MetaTrader 5. As you probably know, MetaTrader has been pushing traders to use MetaTrader 5 instead of MetaTrader 4. They've stopped support for MetaTrader 4. But in reality, a lot of people still use MetaTrader 4 because that's what all the EAs are built for. A lot of brokers still offer MetaTrader 4. So MetaTrader 5 is not quite as big as MetaTrader 4 has been. So I just wanted to test it out to see if it is a viable backtesting software. It's free, obviously, so that's a good thing. And however, you do have to create a spreadsheet to track your trades in MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 because they don't have built-in backtesting functionality. So that brings me to a backtesting tip. When you're using a software product like MetaTrader 5 or MetaTrader 4 or NinjaTrader or anything else that doesn't have built-in backtesting functionality, then you're going to have to create your own spreadsheets to do that. And it can be time-consuming, it can be a little tedious to fill out the spreadsheet, but it is necessary to figure out your win rate, to see the dates that your trades were taken, and important information like that. So when you're filling out a spreadsheet, I find it most useful to use only the last 4 digits of the price. So you cut out the big figure, and then you cut out the pipettes at the end, and just use the 4 digits, and that will make it easier to fill out your spreadsheet, and it will speed up the process. Now, there are some times when you will have to use the whole number because the big figure changes. And if that happens, then go ahead and do that. Use the whole price. But I found that as a shortcut, it's best to just use the last 4 digits, and that will really speed things up. I find that 90% of the time, you won't have to use the whole price. And that can cut down on data entry errors, fat fingering, and stuff like that. So that's a tip for you to speed up your back testing. Here's the test. Next up is the free version of TradingView. And as you probably know, I really love TradingView for live trading, charting. I think it's the best software out there. But does it work for manual backtesting? That's the question. So I tried the free version, and this is what I found. All right, here's another useful tip for backtesting. I found that if I use a couple of tools, it really speeds up the process. So the first tool that I want to share with you is this mini keyboard. They're not expensive. You can get them for, I think it was like $15 or something like that on eBay or Amazon. And they have a little touch pad over here or whatever. And you can use the keyboard. Obviously, you're not going to be typing because that's like a BlackBerry days. But what you can do is you can program some of these software products, especially Forex Tester. And you can program the pause and play button into the keyboard. You can program in close positions. You can program in moving one candle forward, one candle back. And that really frees things up because you're not always on your keyboard like this. You can have this in one hand, you can have your mouse in the other hand, and you can kind of speed up the process doing that. So I found that really useful because with the keyboard, you're always kind of like, here, 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 here. And then with this, you can just kind of move your finger, and it's a much less effort, and it can really make things more efficient. The second thing I would recommend is a multi-button mouse so that you can program those buttons to do certain things, and it really can speed up the process when you're backtesting. So I use this trackball. I know that seems a little old school, but I really like the trackball. The trackball really helps a lot. And this mouse has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons, plus the scroll wheel and the ball on the top. So the most useful thing is the scroll wheel, because you can not only go back and forth with the scroll wheel, but it can go up and down. So when you're on the charts, it can move the chart this way and that way, and then also expand and contract or zoom and make the chart smaller. So that's an easy way to analyze the charts quickly and save some time. Additionally, you can program these buttons to do other things. You can program in a close all trades. That's useful when you're backtesting, obviously. If you have a set position size, you can program one of the buttons to do a set position size. So it makes it really easy to speed up the process according to how you're testing and what your strategies are. All right, this is TradingView free manual backtesting.
Any ideas?
Next up is a piece of software that you might not know too much about, but it does have some benefits. It's called ThinkTrader, and it used to be known as Trade Interceptor. If you've been following me for a little while, you probably know that I did a review on Trade Interceptor back in the day, and I did a review on the mobile version. That wasn't very useful for backtesting back then. I don't know if it is now, but I'm testing the desktop version of ThinkTrader. And ThinkTrader is cool because it's free, totally free, and it works on multiple platforms, which is really nice. And that's something that I wish other software would do, but not all software works on a Mac, but ThinkTrader does have a Mac version. So if you're finding this video useful, a thumbs up is always greatly appreciated, and remember to subscribe to get more videos like this. So here's the complete test on ThinkTrader. Next on the list, we have the paid version of TradingView. Now I use the Pro plan for my trading and my charting, and I really like the software. Here's another backtesting tip. Be sure to keep a separate spreadsheet of all your backtesting results. So you have your system, the currency pairs that you tested, the return, the win rate, and any other metrics that you want to track. And this is very useful because you can add it all up at the end. You can see the cumulative results, and you can see if it's worth going forward with that system. And if it's not, then you can test another idea. So make another version, right? And then test that idea also and see how that pans out. And every time you create a new test, you should record it on the spreadsheet. And this will give you a good idea of what's working, what's not. Because sometimes you can start trading something and it's working out, and then you want to come back to it maybe 6 months to a year later, and you want to optimize it a little bit and play with some ideas. But if you don't have any records with what you tested already and how those tests went, then it can be really hard to rebuild that data and figure out what you're thinking at the time. So this saves a lot of trouble, and it can go a long way to helping you improve your system. All right, here's the test with the TradingView Pro plan. All right, so this is Forex Tester 4. This is my go-to software. I've been using this software forever, ever since version 2, and I just wanted to see how it stacks up against the rest of the competition. So I'll save the complete analysis for towards the end of this video when I do the rankings, but I want to give you a backtesting tip in the meantime. Some people ask me, can you really trust the backtesting results? Because there are no emotions involved. And in live trading, there will be emotions, right? When the price goes up, price goes down, you're losing money, you're making money. It's this emotional roller coaster for beginning traders. So can you really trust the backtesting results? Well, here's the thing. Backtesting results will give you a good foundation of what might work in the markets. And it's true that there won't be any emotions involved in backtesting, but that's the point. You want to take emotions out of it, because when you go into demo trading or live trading, you want to be able to see, okay, is it my strategy that's not working, or is it my emotions that are messing things up? Am I taking profit too early? Am I moving my stop loss? Stuff like that. And in backtesting, you can take the emotion out of it. So you're just analyzing the system itself. Does that strategy have an edge or not? And once you figure out, okay, this probably has an edge based on historical testing, then you can put it into demo trading, and then your emotions come into it, and then you can put that together with the system itself. But if you're trying to analyze two different things at the same time, then it can be difficult to figure out which one is causing the issues, or if there's an edge at all with the strategy, right? So that's why we do backtesting. It's not the end all and be all. It's not going to guarantee success, but it will give you a better picture of if you have an edge with your strategy. All right, here's the test. All right, before I get into ranking the software products, let's take a look at the testing results and see if this is a viable trading strategy. Now keep in mind that we tested it on the same currency pair, but with the different software products, different data sets from different brokers. So we're gonna have a really good idea if this strategy has an edge or not. All right, here are the results from the moving average crossover strategy. So we have NinjaTrader with 50% win rate, a 38.4% return, and 32 trades of TradingView free, 38.6%, a return of 24.9%, and 102 trades. And I'll get into why that could be in a minute. Soft Forex had a win rate of 28%, a return of 61.8%, and 25 trades. And ThinkTrader had 39% win rate, return of 16.7%, and 23 trades. So if we exclude TradingView free, there's between 23 and 32 trades. So that's in the right ballpark. And I would consider that data valid. However, TradingView free had 102 trades. And the reason why it had so many trades, I believe, is because it was using a line chart. And theoretically, if you're only using the closes like you do on the candlestick chart, then I would expect a similar number, but this test took way longer and there were way more trades, but it was still profitable. And the win rate was kind of in the ballpark of the other tests that we did. So that's something that would have to be tested again, but obviously we're not going to test that because TradingView didn't have candlesticks and we want to compare apples to apples. So this isn't really an apples to apples test, but I wanted to see how it would do. Another thing to notice here is that since there was such a wide variety of results, whichever backtesting software that you use, you should be able to import different data sets so you can find out how your strategy works with other broker feeds. And if they're pretty similar, then you have confidence that you can move forward. Okay, now let's go on to the next set of data. This is Forex Tester 4 with a win rate of 33% and a return of 15.2%, 21 trades. MetaTrader 5, 46.1% win rate, return of 33.6%, and 26 trades. TradingView paid 47.1% win rate and a return of 34.4% with 21 trades. So as you can see, these tests also had about 25 trades. So that seems to be about normal. And keep in mind that this was just my first pass at these tests, and maybe I made a mistake somewhere. So I would have to go back and take a look at why there's such a big difference. And it could just be that I missed a couple runners that would have increased my return. So it's good to compare your results with at least a couple of data sources. And these results illustrate that. So would I consider this test successful? Yes, I would. All of the tests were profitable to varying degrees. So now it's just a matter of going to the data, checking out the trades. Maybe I missed a few trades here and there. Maybe there was something about the data that was different. Maybe some of the settings were off, and just going back and double checking. And this brings up a good point. You can't just test once and expect that to be the definitive test of that strategy. You might have to test it 2 or 3 times just to double check your results. Think of this as like a scientific study. You want to be able to reproduce the results consistently. And when you can do that, then you're sure that the data is legitimate. And you can also test this on lower time frames, and you can experiment with things like pyramiding or adding multiple positions to your initial position to magnify the win. So if this strategy appeals to you, then go ahead and test it more in depth yourself, because personal experience is much more important than the experience of another person. You might view the markets differently. You might see things that I don't see, and I might see things that you don't see. So it's really important that you do the work yourself. You cannot rely on other people's tests. And if this strategy doesn't appeal to you, then great, throw it on the side and pick up something else. The important thing here is to learn the process behind the testing and how to verify if a strategy has an edge or not, and then move forward with it from there. Too many traders just jump in with a strategy that they just learned on a blog post. They don't know how to test it, and they wonder why they lose money. So as long as you understand the process, it doesn't really matter which strategy you use. Just find something that works with your personality. All right, now here's what you've been waiting for: the software rankings in each category. Before we do that, however, let's take a look at the efficiency of each test. Now, I mentioned that the timer that you saw in the upper right corner might not be a true representation of how efficient the software is. So this is how I'm going to measure the efficiency. I'm going to take the number of days tested in the historical data and divide that by the amount of time it took to do the test. And that will give us our efficiency in days tested per minute. So when we measure things in this way, Soft Forex comes up as the #1 most efficient testing software. All right, here we go. Overall ease of use, I'm going to go from number 1 to number 7 and explain why I rank them in this order. So number 1 is TradingView paid. TradingView is such an easy platform to use. You can use it on a browser. You don't have to install any software. You don't have to worry about Mac, Windows, or Linux. It works on all of them. And the charts are just silky smooth. It's so easy to work with. It's great. So TradingView paid would be number 1 for me. Forex Tester 4 would be number 2. MetaTrader 5 would be number 3. ThinkTrader would be number 4. Soft Forex would be number 5. And Soft Forex is relatively easy to use, but keep in mind that it's a workaround on MetaTrader 4. So there are inherent things that it can't get around that you really have to do an extra step. And then I have TradingView free in the number 6 position. And I have it there because you can't do candlestick patterns on the free version. And you always have ads popping up and stuff like that. So it's really not usable for backtesting in my opinion. If you're going to go with a free option, you're better off with MetaTrader 5. And then number 7 is NinjaTrader 8. And I swear NinjaTrader 8 is like using software from the 1990s. It still has that old school Windows mentality and it's just really clunky. And it is an upgrade from NinjaTrader 7, I'll admit that. But it's still really difficult to use. So overall ease of use, those are my rankings. The next category is value for money. So I'm sure you're really interested in this one. So let's get to it. Number 1, I believe that Soft Forex is the best value for money. Yes, it's a paid product, but I believe that the amount that you pay really does make up for time saved, being able to get different data sets, being able to use MetaTrader 4 indicators to do your testing, and it's just overall the best value. Next, I would go at Forex Tester 4. Very similar capabilities, much more integrated, much smoother experience, but it does cost more. So I think Soft Forex does edge out Forex Tester 4 in this category. And you can get Forex Tester 4 for about $139 when they have it on sale. So if you want to get that link, it's provided here. That will give you a discount on Forex Tester 4. But even at that discounted price, it's still a little bit more expensive than Soft Forex. So that's why I put Soft Forex number 1. Number 3 for me is ThinkTrader, and ThinkTrader is free, but you can only use one data set, and the instructions aren't very good. So, it's okay. It works on multiple platforms, which is cool. But if you're talking about time saved, you're not saving a whole lot of time compared to the first 2, but it does save you time compared to the rest of the list. Next is MetaTrader 5, obviously free, solid platform. The only issue is that you're spending more time filling out the spreadsheet, and then that's going to slow you down, and it's also going to lead to fatigue and possible errors. So that's why I have MetaTrader 5 in the number 4 position. And then number 5 is TradingView paid, and you're paying for that, but you also have to fill out a spreadsheet like with MetaTrader 5, so it's not such a good value. And then you have NinjaTrader 8, and then TradingView free. And number 6 and 7 were close. I would almost make it a tie, but NinjaTrader 8 is a little bit easier to use in that they don't have pop-up ads and they don't limit you to just a line chart like the free version of TradingView. So that's the only reason why it edged it out at the bottom. Okay, now let's get into data availability. How easy is it to load data into the software and get additional data sets? Number 1 is Forex Tester 4. They make it super easy to download data from multiple brokers. You can just sign up for their data service for 1 month, download all the data, and then quit. Or you can keep going with it, but that'll cost you extra. So that's a great thing to have. And it's the only service on this list that allows you to do that. The other ones have some broker downloads, but there's only 1 or 2 services. Forex Tester provides multiple services. So that's the reason why I chose Forex Tester 4 as the number 1 choice on this one. Next would be TradingView paid. There are quite a few data sources, not as many, but at least you have some options there. I think with Forex, you can do FXCM, Saxo, Oanda, and maybe one more that's legit that I would actually use for testing. So that's a good option also. At the number 3 position is TradingView free. Again, you have similar data downloads, but you can't upload your own data sets, and that makes it a little restrictive. Okay, at number 4, we have Soft Forex, and you can upload data, but you're going to have to find the data separately. You can upload the data into MT4, which is really nice. And then you can use MT4 indicators with your testing, which is also really useful. So number 4 is Soft Forex. Number 5 is MT5. Similar deal here. You can upload data from different data sources, but you also have to find those data sources on your own. So it's a little less useful in that respect. Okay, and then NinjaTrader number 6, they do have a data download, and you can upload your own data sets, but the interface is really clunky, and I had the hardest time getting the free data from them and getting it to work. So that's why I have NinjaTrader at number 6. And then number 7 is ThinkTrader, because you can only have one set of data, and there's no flexibility to upload other data sets. So that's why I have that one last. All right, usability for backtesting. How easy is it to use this software for backtesting? Overall ease of use is one thing, but usefulness for backtesting is an entirely different thing. So here we go. At the number 1 spot, I have Forex Tester 4. It just has everything nicely integrated. The data downloads, the charting is similar to MT5, but then you get all these other features for backtesting. It tracks your trades, you get the trade reports, and you can see your stats. So that's why I have Forex Tester 4 as the number 1 pick. Number 2 is Soft Forex. And like I mentioned before, Soft Forex is a really nice piece of software. I used it way back when it first came out, and it was just total crap. You couldn't use it. But now they've made a lot of updates, and this is a very usable piece of software. I really like it. The only issue here is that it's a little clunky to use because, like I said, it's an MT4 workaround. So you have to take extra steps here and there. And that's fine if you're on a budget. But if you really want something that works well right out of the box, then I think Forex Tester 4 is the way to go. Another thing that I noticed on Soft Forex is that if you close it down and then you open it up again, it won't open up to the spot where you were at the last time. And Forex Tester 4 does that. So I lost a ton of data with Soft Forex, and luckily I had the information saved somewhere. But if I hadn't saved it, then I would have lost all that data. So that's another reason why Soft Forex is number 2. Then you got ThinkTrader. ThinkTrader is a nice backtesting platform, and the fact that you can install it on mobile, you can install it on desktops. It works for Mac, Windows, and it's a little light on the tutorials. I wasn't sure how to use it, and I had to Google a lot, whereas the other software programs are very intuitive. ThinkTrader is not, so that's why it's at number 3, but it is a nice piece of software. So that's an option that you might want to check out. Number 4 is TradingView Paid, and like I said, it's the easiest software to use, but not for backtesting because you have to still use a spreadsheet, and that's a little clunky. But as that type of software goes, it's the highest ranking at number 4. Then you have MT5. It's easy to use, not quite as easy to use as TradingView Paid, but it does have some nice features, and you still have to use the spreadsheet. Number 6 is NinjaTrader 8, and I think NinjaTrader 8 is actually a good automated backtesting system. At least that's the way it seems to me. I haven't actually used it for that, but for manual backtesting, it's pretty crap. And then last is TradingView Free for the reasons I mentioned before. You get the pop-up ads, you can't use all the functions, so it's really not usable. Here we go, these are my rankings for the best overall manual Forex backtesting software. At number 1 is Forex Tester. I still like that it's so integrated, it's easy to use, you can download data from the Forex Tester database, and you can upload your own. So it's really flexible, it's nicely laid out, and the only real downside to Forex Tester 4 is that you can't use MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 indicators directly in the program, but you can get them converted through certain services, and that's not difficult to do. But they have a pretty good library of pre-installed indicators that will work for most traders. Okay, at number 2 is Soft Forex, and Soft Forex really surprised me. Like I said, I used it way back when, and it wasn't very good at all. But they've done a lot of work on it, and it's a great piece of software. I was really surprised. I like the fact that you can use MT4 indicators. You can upload data on your own through MT4, and it records your trades like Forex Tester 4 does. The only downsides with it are that it's a little clunky, and it loses data if you don't save. It's like those old Word documents where if you didn't save it like every 5 minutes, something would go wrong and you'd lose all your writing. So that's a similar situation with Soft Forex. But otherwise, it's a great piece of software, and I'm going to be using it more often. And one thing that excites me about this is that I could possibly use MT4 on my Mac by installing Wine and then installing MT4 on Wine and then putting Soft Forex on there. Now, I'm not sure if that'll actually work, but it's a possibility, and I'm going to try it out because then I could just take my Mac with me, do some testing, and I wouldn't have to have my Windows tablet on the side. And I want to get rid of as much Windows software as possible, and Forex Tester 4 is the only thing that's holding me back from being totally Windows free. So that's a possibility, but Forex Tester 4 is still the best software, so I'm going to have to keep Windows around for a little bit longer. So those are my top two choices, and they are head and shoulders above the rest of the field when it comes to manual backtesting. So I just want you to know that. But at number 3 is TradingView paid. Nice piece of software, like I said, just not very good for manual backtesting, but very good for everything else. Then I have MT5, similar complaint there. Solid piece of software. I just don't like the fact that you have to install stuff and files tend to get corrupted with MetaTrader. So that's why it's not as good as TradingView, but it is a nice piece of software if you're in a pinch, and it's also free. Then I would say ThinkTrader would be my next choice, just because it's not so intuitive and there's only one data set, and that's not acceptable for true backtesting. And then finally, at number 6, I would declare a tie between NinjaTrader 8 and TradingView free, and they're just not usable as manual backtesting software. Like I said, NinjaTrader is probably good for automated backtesting, but when it comes to manual backtesting, it's just not acceptable in my opinion when there are much better options out there. As you can see, it took a while to do this video, but it was great for my education, and I hope it was good for your education also. So if you want to support the channel, subscribe, like this video, and head on over to tradingheroes.com/resources. And that's my complete set of resources that I've tested personally and I like and I use. While you're over there, you can pick up my free beginner's trading course and a bunch of other free resources. If you want to learn how to do this complete process from backtesting to forward testing to live trading and going into live trading with confidence, then sign up for Trader Evo. It's my paid monthly program, and I help you personally build the skills, and I walk you through each step of the process and answer any questions that you have. You can see what I'm testing, you can see what other people are testing, and it's a great way to have a community that helps you build your strategies, build your confidence, and build your skills. Thanks for watching, and here's the next video. Since you made it this far, you're probably wondering what happened to Excel. Well, Excel is not a valid manual backtesting platform, and it's because there's no charts, you're just looking at numbers, and it does work for testing automated strategies and keeping your backtesting data, but it's not a backtesting platform in itself. And I see some people on the internet saying, oh, it's a valid backtesting, a manual backtesting platform, and that's simply not true. So if you see anyone talking about that, then send them over to this video. And it's obvious that you do need a chart, you do need to practice, because backtesting is not only testing, it's about practicing a strategy, and you simply can't get that in Excel. All right, here's the next video.